I forgot. Look at all that dust. Whoa. Like light beams. Whoa. Forgot. I never explained. I never showed. I don't think on this on my channel. The two parts in that compose and appear to compose all aspects of thought for all of humankind are something and direction. That's why we've got all these narratives, these books. Those are things, and all these books contemplate what is free will. When you use your will, you're exerting a directional force, usually from a higher dimension, hopefully, to get laid. When you're copulating and thrusting, you're using direction, right? And things. Okay, so basically, like, all minds, conscious and subconscious, are encapsulated by aspects of those two words. And I had worked on this a bit more to figure out sort of the bridges in between. Those are the 45th degrees. This is all just divisory magic. It's just the same thing as the astrology. It's the same thing as math. It's all just, like, for example, math is the foundation of math is the axiomatic set theory. Zello. I think it's Frank Zelmo set theory, and they have these different, like, rules and different types of sets, and even like rings and all these different. All of math is just division of objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a story being told. Okay, it's a little magic. That's the foundation for all of computation. Is basically the same divisory magics. If you look at Turing machines and how they work, you have two, like, 3 pieces of paper or whatever, and then you have a scribble here and a scribble here, a scribble here, and you can go back and forth. And those symbols are things. It's all just the informational magicness. It's not real magic. It's just fake, but it's all just information-based stuff. So the two components to the axis of man, which are fundamental in defining all of human thought that's ever existed on the planet, for the last thousands and thousands and probably thousands and thousands of years. It's something and direction. You trust me, verbs get a little weird, but it's still just like a bridged aspect. I love you. Okay? And you need a direction and to love generally, to have an emotion towards for emotion to exist, there needs to be a directional aspect. To kick a ball, you can't kick without direction. So it's intimately related to all of subconscious thought and conscious thought. It maps all of human thought, those two words, essentially. The axis of God is all possibilities and nothing. Apparently, I'm not so into that axis that much. It's like whatever. But apparently, according to, like, the Gnostic wisdoms, the Emerald Tablets, all of these different things, Plato, all the stories of her, all of it. Okay, it's all possibilities and nothing. That's why Aristotle didn't draw a man, or he drew a man in the center of a circle and a square. Those are the archetype forms. Aristotle didn't draw, I think that's who drew the Vitruvian Man. He didn't draw God inside of a circle and square, inside of the archetype forms. Okay? That's not That's not that's the axis of man, or those things. That's why there's 4 arms and 4 legs. It's all comprised and contained within 4 and 2, essentially, because those are the base, very, very, very small base bases for all of basically reality. Everything is sort of like a dualistic relation, zeros and ones in terms of computation. Your eyes are open or closed. Everything is like dual, and so the axis of God is all possibilities and nothing, according to other people. Dolo, the angels, the people who are supposedly higher consciousness. So, and I should probably explain, I'm a fourth of the Antichrist. I'm a fourth of the Christ figure. It's a decent story enough. I think it's better than Aliens. So that's why I can tell you these things. That's why I am able to explain these things, okay? Like, that's why I understand what constitutes all of human thought for 2,000 years that's ever existed on the planet, including subconscious thought, okay? That's why Dolo doesn't have the axis of man. The Archangel Uriel, the flaming sword of God, he doesn't have the axis of man. I do. And he was kind enough to get me into and understand the axis of God. However, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't even know I exist. So I don't know if he has mastered and understands the axis of man. It's always a good idea for you to check in and listen to a fourth of the Christ figure and a fourth of the Antichrist figure if you're the flaming sword of God. Just saying. Okay? But anyways, yeah, I wanted to just make that video. Yeah, and the reason why it's really convenient to be a fourth of the Christ figure and a fourth of the Antichrist figure is because that, like, you can add those two things together. You get somewhere around, like, ish half of God, right? That's the big joke. And it's a great way to avoid all of the magics, these dumbass, fucking retarded-ass, human-ass, fucking retarded humans. It's a good way to avoid all of their entrapments and codings and magics, you know, if you're just a fourth of the Christ figure and a fourth of the Antichrist figure. It's a really good way to not get hanged on a cross, or hung on a cross. Pretty sure it's hanged, but it could be hung.